Hey everyone, I saw this Porsche Boxster for cheap. It was listed at $3,500, and the seller did say that it does have a couple minor issues like turn signals and the top being ripped a bit, but other than that should be in good driving condition. So we're going to validate that. The seller also did say there's new tires, so we'll check that out as well. As we walk around, we can see that plasti dip coat that was mentioned in the description. We can see that even that coat is fading alongside the sides, and if you look in the front, it looks pretty bad. There's some yellowing in the headlights as well, so I definitely have to factor in a paint job or at least sand down everything and rewrap it. As we look closer at the tires, I do see that they're all from 2016. Some of them don't even have dot codes. And what that is typically it'll say DOT on the tire followed by a 4-digit code, the two first digits saying the week, and the next two digits saying the year. So looking around over here, and we're seeing the same thing. The tires do have very good thread on them. It's just the age that's the issue. I know we're here in 2024, so these tires are now 8 years old. The good thing about having these stylish wheels is I can just put my camera through and then check. The brake pads here look pretty good actually. On all four sides, you can see that there's that very thick slab of pad that's still on there. Here's the rip part of the top that was mentioned. Would have to consider replacing that. The battery up front has 550 cold cranking amps on it. It does show 19% state of health, although 98% charge. I did confirm that the turn signals were not working for both left, right, front, and rear, although the tail lights and headlights were working. Typically, if roaders show wear, one way you can tell is by running your finger along the edge like this, and the edge should not have a lip. The car did show low coolant by looking into the coolant reservoir. Looking under the oil cap, I did not find sludge. And this is the oil dipstick right here. Next, I like to look under the car. One good way to do this is by putting the camera right under and then just running it down and up the body. So looking through here, we can see the suspension. We can see the catalytic converter, the mufflers. Looking here for any leaks or any signs of previously dried leaks that may give concern, especially in these Porsches. There's this thing called the rear main seal connecting between the engine and the transmission that may potentially leak. The scanner did report a P0420 error, which is a catalytic converter issue. So definitely something where oil could be dumped into the catalytic converter or something else could be fouling it. Down here we can see this pan, and that appears to be a wet spot, but I can't really tell. But what I do know is that there's no active leaks on this car. Running my camera down the side, we can see all these different hoses just exposed along the underbody. Some of them are not clamped in. Now we're looking at the engine once again. See no leaks over here, although there are a bunch of spider webs, which I probably should have cleared a bit more when looking at this. I did check the drivability, and it did drive and shift into all gears just fine, including reverse, but now I'm connecting the scanner to see what's really ticking with this car. The seller did list it as a 2004, but we can see here it's 2003. Carfax seems to think that this car may have 174,000 miles. The instrument cluster was out, so I wasn't able to see. But I was able to see some recent services, like at 160,000 miles, the clutch was replaced and the oil was replaced. Although it surprises me that they didn't mention anything about the IMS bearing, like when you take the clutch out, you could probably have done that at that point. Anyway, this scanner is still looking through all the different components, so there's a couple of faults in the ABS, in the airbag, in the DME, nothing in air conditioning, instrument cluster, park assist, nothing to mention right there. And now we're taking a look at all the codes. So very specifically, clutch pedal encoder, CAN instrument cluster, which makes sense. The P0420 for catalytic converter. Just looking through over here, speed sensor on the rear right, CAN message missing from instrument cluster, central locking limit position locked and not reached, and then airbag, supply voltage, belt buckle, and all these other ones. Now I noticed the battery did have 19% health, so that could be a reason for the electrical issues. Although there are those 4 key engine codes that I'm definitely considering. Engine specific, P1601, P0420, P0446, and P0830. The top 2 are minor issues, although the bottom 2, I don't know how to tackle the emissions issue, and the catalytic converter is expensive. Looking here with the engine light on and 2 monitors and not ready status, engine light is definitely going to keep being on. Would you have bought this car for $3,000? Let me know in the comments. I have seen better examples of this car at around 6,000 with much more work done, so that has definitely swayed me against buying this car, but I'm curious in your perspective. Let me know.